All right, welcome to the deep dive. Today we are going all in on something.
Yeah.
Something everyone can probably relate to, how we connect with people and how to strengthen those connections.
Sounds pretty fundamental, right?
Right. So we are going to deep dive into the 5 love languages from Dr. Gary Chapman.
Ah, yes, a classic for a reason. I think this one really hit a nerve when it first came out, and it still resonates today.
Totally. It's like
the
basic premise is simple, right?
Yeah.
Forget. But so powerful.
Yeah. Just that we all experience and express love differently.
It's kind of like, speaking different languages, literally.
Exactly. You could be trying to tell someone you care about them, but if you're speaking French and they only understand Spanish...
Yeah, it's just not going to land the same way.
Total miscommunication, even though you both mean well. So Dr. Chapman, he broke it down into 5 main categories, those love languages.
Okay, so we got words of affirmation, quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. And before we really get into it, just think about this. Has there ever been a time, I'm sure all of us have been there, where you're like giving your all to someone?
Oh, totally.
Like really trying, but it's not landing. Or have you ever had someone say, I love you, but it just didn't feel like love?
Yeah, it's like the words are there, but the feeling isn't.
Exactly. That's what we're going to unpack today. And I think, the sources you gave me, they really nail it. This stuff is so important for all kinds of relationships, not just romantic ones either. Friendships, family, colleagues even.
Absolutely. And I think what's so powerful about this whole love languages thing is it gives you a framework to understand those situations where, like you were saying, that effort is there, but it's missing the mark.
Okay, so let's get into why this actually matters to you listening right now.
Okay, so let's say you're someone who, to show love, you give gifts. You put so much thought into finding the perfect present for someone you care about.
Right, like you really want to nail it.
Yeah, but what if that person, what they really value is quality time?
So you're speaking gifts and they're speaking time.
Exactly. No matter how great your gift is, it might not really hit the spot for them because what they really crave is like your focused attention.
Yeah.
Just spending time together.
So both people end up feeling kind of unfulfilled.
Yeah, it's like you're both trying to show love, but you're not speaking the same language.
The intention is good, but the message gets lost in translation.
Exactly. And I think one of the articles you shared highlighted this really well. Like once you understand someone's love language, it's not about guessing anymore. You can like intentionally choose how to show your affection. So it really resonates with them.
So it's less about my default and more about learning to speak their language.
Yeah. It's powerful stuff. And this is what the research shows. Like when someone feels truly seen and understood, when their love language is being spoken, it creates this deep sense of connection.
Like they really matter.
Right. And that feeling is so important for any kind of healthy relationship. Okay, so we've got the why. Now let's break down each of these 5 love languages, starting with words of affirmation.
Okay, so this one, it's all about needing to hear the love.
Exactly.
Right?
It's verbal, spoken words. These are the people who really light up when you give them compliments, tell them you appreciate them.
Yeah, like saying, I'm so proud of you, or just, I appreciate you. That stuff goes a long way.
Totally. For someone whose love language is words of affirmation, those words are huge. They're validating. They make them feel good. And the opposite is true, too.
Yeah.
Like criticism or negative words, even just silence, that can be really hurtful for these folks.
Makes sense. Okay, on to number 2, quality time. This one feels pretty intuitive. What's the key here?
It's not just about being in the same room with someone. It's about focused, undivided attention.
So putting away your phone, really listening when they talk, doing things together where you're both present.
Exactly. Like imagine going for a walk, but you're both on your phones the whole time.
Or having dinner and the TV's blaring.
Right. That doesn't really count as quality time. It's like you're there, but you're not really there. And for someone whose love language is quality time, that can be a big deal.
Yeah, you're sending the message that they're not important enough for your full attention.
Exactly. It's about making them feel like a priority.
Okay. Number 3, receiving gifts. This one's interesting. Sometimes it gets a bad rap. Like it's all about being materialistic.
Right, but it's not about the money. It's about the thought, the symbolism behind the gift.
So, like, it could be a small gift, something you just saw and thought of them. Or a little note.
Exactly. It's those little things that say, hey, I was thinking of you.
And it's funny, one of the sources pointed this out, like forgetting a birthday or not really acknowledging a gift, That can be super hurtful to someone with this love language.
Yeah, because to them, it's not just about the thing itself. It's about feeling seen and remembered.
Okay, makes sense. Moving on to number 4, acts of service. I always think of that saying, actions speak louder than words.
Right, and that's totally this one. These are the people who feel most loved when you do things for them.
Like helping with chores.
Right.
Running errands.
Yeah.
Fixing something that's broken.
Exactly. It's about taking something off their plate and making their life easier. And on the flip side,
oh yeah,
laziness or broken promises. That can be really hurtful to someone whose love language is acts of service.
Because it feels like you don't care enough to help.
Yeah, it can feel like rejection even.
Got it. Okay, last but not least, number 5, physical touch.
Okay, now.
This one's a little tricky, right? Because people immediately jump to, like, intimacy.
Right, and intimacy is definitely a part of it for some people.
Yeah.
But it's broader than that. It's about physical closeness in general.
So holding hands, hugs, just a comforting touch.
Exactly. And for someone with this love language, a lack of touch can make them feel really disconnected.
Like they're not close to you.
Yeah.
Emotionally or physically.
Yeah. Okay, so those are the 5 love languages. But let's, bring this to life a bit.
Yeah, I think a real-life example will really help.
Okay, so in the materials you shared, there's this classic story about a couple. We'll call them Mike and Anna.
Okay.
So Mike, he's totally in love with Anna. He works hard to provide for her. He's always buying her gifts, really thoughtful, often expensive gifts.
Sounds like he's putting in the effort.
Oh, he is. He truly believes he's showing her love. But Anna's not feeling it. She feels unloved. They fight a lot. And it turns out her primary love language is quality time.
Uh-huh. So he's speaking gifts, she's speaking time.
Exactly. She doesn't need more stuff. What she wants is his time, his attention.
To feel like she's a priority.
Right. So once they both learn about love languages, things start to change. Mike starts making an effort to put away his phone, spend quality time with Anna, do things together, talk, really listen.
And what happens?
They stop fighting. Anna starts feeling loved. The takeaway here, love can be there, but if it's not expressed in the right language, it can miss the mark.
So how do you listening figure out your own love language and the languages of the people you care about?
Okay, first, just take some time to think. Really reflect. What makes you feel most loved?
Good question.
Yeah. And also think about the opposite. What makes you feel hurt or unloved?
What are the patterns in your relationships?
Right. Another thing to consider is, how do you show love to others? Often we give love in the way we want to receive it.
That's so true. It's like we project our own needs.
Yeah. And if you want something a little more structured, there's the official love language quiz online.
It's pretty easy to find.
Yeah. And I think another important point, it's totally normal for people in a relationship to have different love languages.
It would actually be kind of weird if everyone had the same one.
Totally. The key is, don't expect everyone to speak your language. Be open to learning theirs.
To put in the effort to understand.
Right. It's about meeting each other halfway. It takes empathy and a willingness to, step outside your comfort zone.
To learn a new way of communicating love.
Exactly. And I think this is what makes the concept of love languages so valuable. It gives you a framework to strengthen your relationships, to create deeper connections.
It's not magic. It's about awareness and intention.
Yeah. So really think about this. Who are the important people in your life? What are their love languages?
How can you show them you care in a way that they'll truly feel? It's a powerful thing.
It really is.
All right, thanks for diving deep with us.